All right, guys, so in today's video, I wanted to tell you about what happened to Maya and myself and little Nora. She was with us this weekend. We were broke down with a very bad flat tire up in the mountains, way up in the mountains, 3.5 hours away from Dumaguete. So 3.5 hours away from home. The rest of the story, you'll have to start. All right, so Maya and I like to rent a car like on weekends or every other weekend, and we like to take like a trip that we wouldn't somewhat feel comfortable on with maybe a motorbike sometimes. Sometimes we like to go on a long distance trip, and we have, Maya's daughter with us, and so obviously 3 people on a motorbike is not safe. I haven't purchased a car yet, but what I have done is rent out because it is fairly inexpensive, usually around $25 US per day. Cheaper deals if you rent by the week or even by the month. I don't ever need that long. I usually just do a weekend. And around town, we just use our motorbikes. It seems to work out the best. So for now, we rent out a car just kind of when we need it. So anyway, we rented out a car. They dropped off the rental car at night because we had kind of decided last moment, hey, let's go check out this place called the Enchanted River. It's in the city that I can't even pronounce. I'll put it down on the screen. And it's 3.5 hours away. And next to it, just near it, a few minutes away, is the Chocolate Hills. Now, Negros actually has Chocolate Hills. A lot of people think of the Chocolate Hills over in Bohol, and Bohol's really famous for their Chocolate Hills. Well, there's some miniature, smaller ones here in Negros, which are very cool as well. And you can also check out the Enchanted River, which has a little waterfall and just beautiful water, which we were able to see the Chocolate Hills, but we did not make it to the Enchanted River. Okay, so back to the rental car. We got the rental car kind of late at night. So he went around with the light. I looked at it to mark down any kind of scratches or anything. What I did not look at, and which I should have looked at, were the tires. If I would have, and this is completely my fault, just a stupid mistake on my part. Never rent a car here or in any situation for that matter without checking the tires. And I did not look at the tires, and 2 of them were pretty bald. Yeah, and never looked at it. So off I go on this trip. Well, it is a winding way up in the mountains. And we made it all the way to the Chocolate Hills. Like I said, we stopped and took some great photos. And then we were off to the Enchanted River. And along the way, boom, or not boom, but like I hit like a small rock or something, and it must have been sharp. And all of a sudden I started hearing noise from the front right tire, passenger front tire. And I'm like, oh shit. And we're in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody, there's nothing around. We're way up in the mountains. There's no cell phone signal at all. No cell phone signal, 0. So I pull off to the side of the road. Lucky we were on a 2-lane paved road with little to no traffic. And when we did see traffic, it was 99.9% motorbikes. These are mountain people that live way up here. They're farmers and just really deep province. So I pull up on the side of the road, and the tire is literally destroyed. By the way, guys, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Right now, they're having a Black Friday sale. It's huge. You can get it for as little as $1.99 a month, plus up to 4 months for free. Check it out. Protect yourself when you're traveling or just every day, even if you're still back in your home country. Protect yourself when you are out in public. Make sure you log into the VPN. And when you're traveling, if you want to have access to all your favorite streaming services and check your banking and all of this, you need to have a VPN. It's very important, especially if you're traveling here or living out here. One of the most important things you can have. Back to the video. I'm thinking to myself, I've changed a flat tire in the US several times. It's not really that difficult if you've done it before. It's pretty easy. So I pop the trunk, I look in the back, great, there's a spare tire, perfect. And it's not a donut, it's an actual spare tire. And guess what? There is no tire jack to jack up the car. And there's no T-bar to loosen the lug nuts. Nothing. Just the spare tire. And here we are on the side of the road in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. No cell phone signal. So we're sitting there and I'm cursing, of course. Maya's stressed out as well. We were both really hungry at that point. We thought we would go to this enchanted river and maybe get some snacks and stuff while we're there. Swim, just enjoy the day. By the way, this will have to be a repeat trip that we go back to. This time I will prepare. When you get a rental car in the Philippines, I guess anywhere for that matter, check the tire tread. Big mistake on my part, but also something that probably most people don't think about, look at the spare. Is it a donut? Is it a regular tire? And do they have the jack? And do they have the T-bar to loosen up the lug nuts? Because guess what? A spare tire without those two things, it really does you hardly any good. So back to the story. We're sitting in the middle of nowhere. And there's a little mountain, like a little shack, and it looks like a few people are there. And they can see that we're broke down on the side of the road, but there's no car. Nobody owns a car or anything. Anyway, they walk over and start speaking Visayan to Maya, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? They're like, oh, well, you know, there's no shop around, there's no tow truck, there's nothing. And, you know, all they have is maybe a vulcanizing shop, which is for motorbikes. And I'm like, God, what are we going to do? I guess I'm going to try to wave down a vehicle and hope that they have a jack and hope that they will even pull over when I see one. Because like I said, there was no car traffic whatsoever. And the traffic alone was not very often. It was very sporadic that you would see just a motorbike drive by. Anyway, all of a sudden another motorbike stops and another one and a bunch of people coming down through the rice paddies. All of a sudden, this whole mountain village is coming together. I literally got 20 people surrounding my car. Of course, when this is all happening, I was stressed out. I did not think to film it. Maya did take a little quick video of some people working on my tire at the end here. I'll pop that up. So what happened is, okay, well, the one guy says, well, he goes, I think I know a guy who has one of those little kind of like small little vehicles that they assemble over here. I forget what they're called, pedicabs or something like that. Not pedicab, like the little mini vehicles. He goes, I think I know somebody who has one of those. Maybe he has a jack. And another guy goes, I think I have some tools back at the house. So two people take off in two different directions. Now, I didn't ask them to do any of this. They're just like volunteering. They came out of their homes and around, and it's like all of a sudden I'm the most popular thing that has happened in this village, and who knows how long, because they probably haven't seen a foreigner in forever, maybe never. Anyway, one guy comes back after about 20 minutes. He has two tools. They don't fit the lug nuts. Striked out there. Another guy comes and he gets this small little jack that's designed for those little vehicles. And I can't remember the name of these little vehicles. Somebody help me out down below. And I'm like, how is that thing going to jack up the vehicle? And the other thing is they did not have the tool to crank it, to bring it up. They didn't have the tool. So they had to do it like with some kind of regular screwdriver or something. I don't know how they did it. Anyway, this other guy he's talking to Maya. Maya's translating all this for me. Maya says, he thinks he knows somebody who's got that T-bar. He takes off another 20 minutes. Meanwhile, we're sitting on the road. It's hot out, and we're kind of sitting off in the shade. And this guy comes back another 20 minutes later or so, and he gets the T-bar. I'm like, okay, all right, fantastic. All right, so now we need to get the tire off the ground. And I'm like, how are they going to do that with this little teeny jack? Anyway, I got all these guys working on all these mountain guys, working on my vehicle. I have not even asked them. They just, out of the kindness of their heart. And this is where the Filipino kindness really comes in, because they can be amazing people. I do want to, you hear all the stories of this girl scammed me and this and this and this. But what you also don't hear is the kindness of some of these people. And I mean, Filipinos will stop and they will help you. I mean, I can't imagine in the US me breaking down in the middle of nowhere and all these people coming to help me. Especially in the current times, people are scared of stopping to help somebody. You never know who that person might be. Well, in the Philippines, that doesn't really exist yet. Hopefully it never does. Anyway, they proceed to get the vehicle cranked up. They get the lug nuts off. They get the tire on. They tighten it up. And I just could not believe, it took an hour, but I was just so, Maya and I both were just so extremely thankful that these people just out of their day, coming from all over, just coming together and people going off in different directions to get the tools and searching and finding everything they needed to help me out and get me on my way. And they did not ask for a single peso. I just want to remind you that. Now, Maya and I both discussed, we said, we should give them some money here, at least something. So I decided to give them 1,000 pesos. Now I'm going to get the angry comments, oh, that's far too little, or oh, that's way too much, or whatever. Understand, these are people way up in the mountain. They probably make a couple hundred pesos per day if they're lucky. I just gave them 1,000 pesos. And at first, I tried to hand it out, and nobody was accepting it. They weren't taking it. And so eventually, one guy said, okay. I said, go buy some leche manok or something. And Maya's like, oh, somebody said they're going to go buy Red Horse with it. Anyway, they finally took it, and we decided at this point, let's not press our luck. We have no spare tire now, because there was another bald tire on the car. And off we went to go back home on our 3.5-hour journey. And it's a lesson learned that when you get a rental car here, again, very, very much my fault on the not checking the tires. The tires were bald, which is very dangerous. I should have checked that. No excuse on that whatsoever. But what a lot of people don't think about is checking the spare, making sure it's a regular spare, not a donut. Because if you're 4 hours away or something on this little donut, that's not good either. You need to have a regular spare, and there needs to be a jack in the T-bar to get, to get the lug nuts off. And that is something that I will check from now on. And so I will continue to rent cars, but I will be very, very careful and much pickier on the rental cars when I do that. So anyway, a disaster really could have turned into a disaster. These people didn't have to help, and then we would have been screwed trying to wave down any car that came by if they would have stopped and if they would have had a jack or the T-bar or any of that. It could have been late at night. I mean, who knows? Who knows what would have happened? But just a big shout out to these farmers and villagers just way up in the mountains. I mean, again, the kindness is amazing. But if you do get out here and you want to get a really scenic drive, about 3.5 hours out from Dumaguete, probably best on a rental car, but you certainly, it was drivable by a motorbike. So if you want a great, beautiful motorbike trip, this would be great too. Check out the Chocolate Hills of Negros, not Bohol, and the Enchanted River. Plus there's other waterfalls in the area as well. So check it out, but that's my story. And I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget, you may hear some stories of a girl who scams you, but don't forget, there's also great stories of unbelievable Filipino kindness as well. And that was really proven to me just this last weekend. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see everyone next time. Ciao.